Okay, this video is going to remind us how to add and subtract fractions. And that's our only objective here today. So let's look at a simple, what if I had 2/3 plus 1/2. Remember, when we're adding and subtracting fractions, you must have common denominators. And no cross-canceling. So, for example, I cannot cancel my 2 and my 2. That's only for multiplication. So we need to think about a number, a least common multiple that both 3 and 2 divide into evenly. So if I think about 3, my multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. My multiples of 2 would be 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6. There's my common multiple. So I need it to be 6. So 3 times what gives me 6? 3 times 2. So what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. I need an equivalent fraction to 2/3. Equivalent fraction to 2/3 would be 4/6. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times what is 6? 2 times 3. So what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top, and so I have 3/6. And then we add straight across. So if I have 4/6 plus 3/6, I end up with 7/6. Notice I only add the numerators, and my denominator remains the same. So that's example 1. What if I had example 2? Example 2 would be negative 15. Let's do negative 15/8 minus, let's do 3/10. So if I think about this, 8 and 10, I could go with 80, but that's a really big number. I could also find the least common multiple. So 8, I've got 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, 8 times 4, 8 times 5, right there. And then 10, 10 times 1, 2, 3, 4, and there it is. So my common multiple will be 40. And so 8 times 5 gives me 40, so 15 times 5 is negative 75. 10 times 4 gives me 40, 3 times 4 is 12. Negative 75 minus 12 would give me a negative 87/40. And at that point, I would see if I could simplify. Well, 87 and 40, there's nothing really in common, and so I'm finished. We'll do one more. Let's say a blast from the mixed number past. If I have 3 and 1/2 minus 2 and 2/7. You have a couple different options here. You could change them to improper fractions. And so my problem becomes 7/2 minus 2 times 7 is 14 plus 2, 16/7. And I could rewrite with a common denominator. So my common denominator between 2 and 7 would be 14. 2 times 7 is 14, so 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 2 is 14, so 16 times 2 is 32. Subtract, and I would get 17/14. Or 1 and 3/14. I could also do it leaving it in mixed numbers. So I can't, the common denominator would be 14. 7 times 2 is 14, so 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 7 is 14, so 1 times 7 is 7. Now, 7 minus 4 gives me 3 14ths. 3 minus 2 is 1. So there's a problem with mixed numbers. And my last problem we're going to do is with some variables. So what if I had 3 over 2 plus, let's do 5 over 6x. So let's think about, we can't really list it out quite like we did before, but we could think about 2 and 6. Well, between 2 and 6, 6 would be the common factor. And I need an x in there, so 6x is my common factor. I don't have to multiply this one by anything. But 2 times what is 6? Well, 2 times 3, and then I also need an x, 3x. So I have 9x. If I simplified 9x, I'd get 3 halves, so that's good. Common denominator is 6x, so that's on the bottom, or the denominator. And then my numerator is just 9x plus 5. We're going to do a lot more of these, or you will see these in pre-cal. But that just kind of gives those people who are good with adding fractions. Here's one. It's going to kind of show you why we need to be able to do it without a calculator, because we definitely can't do it